Once again, we thank you for joining us on Nigerian Design Studios of Independent Television. Well, we have with us in the studio a Professor of History and International Studies. I'd like to thank very especially Professor Benson Osadolo. Prof, it's been a while. Good to have you on the program.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here this morning.
You've been following the election, looking at the whole scenarios that have played out, the issues that have dominated discussion. What struck you most in this election?
Well, let me begin by saying that when nations prepare for elections, nations that are democratic, the signal it sends to the nation itself and its people is that a starting point in every healthy democracy is the election. You see, it's healthy because it's going to throw open a number of issues. And then the contestants, the political contestants who are competing for power, will begin to look at these issues and tell the nation, the people, the kind of ideas that they actually have in solving the problems of society. And of course, the society also begins to look at them and see what kind of vision that they also have in dealing with the problems of society. And so, up to Saturday, we have seen that in the Nigerian case, the issues were poorly handled. It was all about personalities, about party, about the campaign, and so on and so forth. However, more slinging by politicians, accusations and counter-accusations, and all about attempts to rig and not to rig. These were the issues that dominated the Nigerian political scene shortly before the elections of Saturday. And of course, the elections were there. People were a little bit worried what would definitely be the outcome of the election. Others looked at the country in the past 4 years. Others are looking at the country in the next 4 years. So what do we do? Where is the starting point? And how do we decide? Okay. And unfortunately, many Nigerians do not understand the issues at stake about taking a decision on the future of this country. And so many went to polls simply because somebody has come to talk to them on what to do, not knowing exactly the problems of this country at a particular point in time. However, elections were conducted on Saturday, and unlike the previous elections, you will notice that areas where there were disturbances in court, in terms of burning of ballot papers, in terms of snatching of ballot boxes, in terms of bloodshed like we find in rivers and some other parts of the country, Akwa Ibom, etc. Now, what comes to mind is simply that shortly before the elections, during the campaigns, some of these politicians, they had made some very careless statements and utterances that were not expected of political leaders in this country. And so that may have also, clear marks in the kind of problems we had during the elections. People became desperate to make sure that what the leader said, the statement the leader made, would not affect him or her. Let me give 2 examples. Number one, a political leader is saying that if you lose your ward or you lose the election in your unit, be assured that you are going to lose your political position. What signal does that send, for example? It's not so good.
So you're saying that breeds
desperation? Of course. Not just desperation, but evil plots to ensure that they still maintain their political positions by every means possible. And that is wrong. Number two, the Minister of Transport, for example, made some statements during the campaign in Rivers. And nobody just, took him on that. Nobody took him on that. Not just him, there were other statements that were made by politicians during campaigns. One would expect that if in Nigeria, as we see it, with strong security forces, the DSS, for example, would have picked on him or picked on them to say, why did you make these statements? To incite people or to collude with people to do the obvious? So these are two aspects that we want to look at. In any case, the elections were conducted. Don't forget that even after the conduct of an election, the most important part is the counting of the ballot papers. When you count, which is very important, you record. Now, the recording at every political unit, Nigeria has how many units? About 120 political units. So we are looking at a process where the recording of the votes that have been counted in over 120,000 units across the country, they are accurate. And in the process, once a unit, a vote has been counted and is recorded, that's not the end. There are several units in a particular ward, and then you're going to collate that ward, and then you're going to collate that center, you're going to collate local government, and then announce results. This is where we have problems in this country. And you have seen cases so far where since Saturday up to this very moment, this morning, even to collate results in some specific areas has become a major problem. Now, what is happening? Is it that they are tampering with the recorded results, or they are bringing in fake recorded results, or what exactly is it that we have not been able to identify? Secondly, we have heard reports, not from social media, because social media has been a problem of recent. We are looking at the mainstream media. We have heard reports from the mainstream media of how some party agents were not only intimidated, but they were physically assaulted and attacked, just because they believe that the presence of those officials, of those party agents, of course, will ensure that nothing bad, nothing wrong is done with what has been recorded as the results. But all of this we have seen, and everybody seems to keep quiet as if it doesn't really matter. Let us go the way it is going. That is absolutely wrong in the case of Nigeria. We expect that today, for example, results may come, more results may come, and they will announce results for House of Reps and Senate, and of course, for the presidency, we are not too sure. The reason why we are not too sure is that in some areas there have been problems. So what happens? And this is the question that was raised before the election. Is it that an attempt has been made to stagger some results in some states, or elections in some states, or to ensure that some problems or some areas that are considered to be stronghold of some political parties are disturbed, so that then they could cancel the election and then fix another election on a particular date to conclude the elections and then manipulate the entire process? These are the things that have
INEC talking yesterday, the INEC chairman identified some states where elections still held yesterday. Elections were shifted, from Saturday to Sunday, just to make it possible for people to cast their votes. Places like Abia, Zamfara, Plateau, and a couple of other areas. So I think that maybe that has been taken care of by INEC by rescheduling elections in some of those areas.
Yes, those were areas where the disturbances were not that serious. In areas where disturbances were very serious, like Rivers, what happened? They didn't talk about it yesterday. Why did they shy away from it? They didn't talk about it. Areas like in Lagos that we saw, not just in the social media, but in the mainstream media. Some terrible areas where they feel that, something else will upturn the results of the election. What happened? Elections were not, there was no the conduct of election again on Sunday in those areas in Lagos. So what exactly, INEC tries to explain its own point of view about whatever happened on Saturday and the rerun on Sunday, and today expecting more results. Quite obvious. But the most important thing for us in this country is to understand that some areas are under siege. And there have been reports that this siege is in terms of collaboration between the security forces and some political parties. We are not able to identify yet. I can't say it here because I'm not physically there. I'm not a witness. But these are the things that are going on. Why are they not investigated? But let's see how
it goes ultimately.
Exactly.
All right, just to let you know that we also have with us in the studio Mr. Roy Oriwabo is a politician, also a public affairs commentator, joining our live studios of Nigerian Decides 2019. Roy, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, one thing that is coming out now that is bringing some sort of agitation to Nigerians is the fact that the collation of election result is pretty slow. There are reasons we can induce for this from your perspectives?
To me personally, I'm scared about this development because one would naturally expect in the 21st century, no matter the situation, we should be able to have at least 50%, 70% of results supposed to be available now. Even some of us who even reside, I went to my village to cast my vote, and after that I came back, one could have expected, me from my village to this place was not more than 2 hours drive. Therefore, we did all the collation within my ward before we get to this. What we expect by now, they're supposed to be resolved. But we don't know what's going on. And then anybody you talk to now will tell you that it's also expressing my own feeling. We are all scared. We don't know where they are taking us to. And I can see the COVID vividly that the NHM chairman informed us then that a process like this will not happen. But immediately after the election, everything already was on ground to make sure that result will immediately be coming out. But what is going on now? It's only some certain areas of interest that we start seeing, like what you were reviewing in your newspaper review. Yeah. We had some, those are areas of interest, and those are the results we are getting now. So we are not comfortable with it. I hope it will not get to that level of manipulation. I hope they will not capitalize on this opportunity to want to usurp the decision taken by the people. But to me personally, I'm not comfortable with it.
Okay, Prof, talking about the slow collation of results, which is bringing a bit of agitation, are there specific reasons we can advance for this?
Well, since we are not part of the people collating, it is difficult for us to say this is the reason for it. But the truth of the matter is that, like I said earlier, when people go cast their votes, and then the votes are counted, the papers are counted, and then of course they are recorded at all units. You see, let's take a ward for example. Every ward has its units, its political units. It's election units, and then to record the results of a particular unit, and then to collate with other units, it will not take time. Yeah. If elections ended by 3 or 4 or 5, we can do the counting throughout the night. We can do the collation throughout the night. By early Sunday morning, the results will be available. But that is not the case here. Even throughout the whole of Sunday, 24 hours after election, no results. In fact, in some cases, they are still collating. What exactly are they collating? Are they manipulating or they are collating? Are they changing results or what? Are they bringing fake result sheets, substituting with original result sheets? What exactly is happening? Who are those desperate for this kind of things? So that is where the problem is. But don't forget, let us look at it scientifically. These things are being done manually. Yeah. And humans are involved in collating manually, in counting manually, in recording manually, and in ensuring that things are done properly. Don't also forget that those who are waiting, they want to be sure that what result was recorded in a particular polling unit is what will be in the final collation of results. And so people are being careful to check and cross-check facts and figures. Maybe that may be responsible for that kind of delay. But beyond that, one expects that INEC in the past 4 years, planning for this election, would have taken all of these things into consideration and they know exactly what to do. If it has to do with the problem of manpower, then they know that shortly after the elections on Saturday, they're going to mobilize more human resources to collating an announcement of results. But that did not happen. I'm sure there may be shortage of staff in terms of collating the results. And so everybody is being patient. Because in the final analysis, it is not the returning officer that is part of the process who will announce the results. It is those assigned that kind of responsibility. And so I strongly believe that they may have manpower problems.
Okay, let's just talk a bit more about some of the security breaches that have taken place in this election, leading to the loss of lives and properties. In fact, in some cases, electoral materials outrightly destroyed. In some polling centers or collation centers, electoral officials have to scamper for safety as a result of attacks by thugs and other unscrupulous elements. I mean, this is just one election that people expected that the electorate to come out, cast their vote peacefully. On Saturday, we were here in the studio talking about the election. That seems to be the report that trickled in. But between that day and today, a whole lot has happened in terms of the violence that has marred this election in some states. We can't deny the fact that in some other states, it was relatively peaceful, calm, and easygoing, but not so for some other states. Let's start with you. The security breaches that have taken place in this, in the conduct of this election, despite all the assurances and whatever.
To me, it calls for a deep, sober reflection that gradually, especially in this part of the world, you know, if you look at the two major contenders, they are from the north. Reports reaching me indicate that because now we have not received any level of such violence in terms of the conduct of election. But in South here, especially Rivers State, you know, we have to be very bothered because it's now an issue you can easily forecast. Anytime election is coming, you can conveniently forecast that you are very sure that 20 persons will not be able, you cannot guarantee their life again, you know, because of the actions and inaction of the political actors there. Therefore, we need to be very bothered from the South. It's no longer funny. You know, if you take a historical analysis of the South, Rivers State, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, then you begin to wonder, where are we headed to? That shows that we are not mature politically. You know, and that also makes me want to even appreciate those states. You know, we from those states, we are able to demonstrate that we are loving and peaceful people, and that we are able to show over the years. And I believe after this election, the leadership in those states should be able to call a stakeholders meeting, calling all the South together and say what is really going on. I expect the lead in those states, we should be able to lead that, to tell those in Rivers State, Bayelsa and Akwa Ibom that election is not war. You know, we must be able to educate and enlighten them politically so that they know what it is to conduct a very peaceful election. So with what is going on now, I don't know. I don't know how adjective, I don't know the adjective to qualify, but I am not comfortable. And the only solution is that one, they have to undergo a political orientation. And that at those stages, we have a responsibility. And I'm happy that my prof is here. We must take it upon ourselves to put it on record. And also those from the rivers, Bayelsa and Akwa Ibom, they need more political orientation. They must know that election is not war. And what the report we are getting there is very discouraging. It's not the kind of report that we are proud of. You go have been monitoring the election. And from the north, the court north, we have not received as a result of violence, as a result of election that one man is going on this. But here in South, you know, it calls for a serious concern. And also in Lagos, you know, what happened, I saw what happened in Lagos also. And it's an issue of concern to all of us. And I believe that is desperation. One, the reasons, one is that this winner takes it all. You know, that once you are able to secure your place, like a directive given, my professor analyzed that, go and deliver your units. If you want to remain in government, you want to be useful in your party, go and deliver your unit and go and deliver your word. And that gives room for desperation. You know, and secondly, because of the investment, political investment, you know, now it's not a political industry and it's very viable. You understand me? And now people are saying that once you are able to invest like that and the report, the investment is yielding, and that conquer any other thing. Therefore, it gives room for the desperation, and that's the reason why desperados are now in power. You know, we must step up the game. We must let people know that politics is not war, and those who are able to secure victory, the people are only entrusting you to come and lead us for a time, you know. Therefore, don't play that role of a demigod. Yeah. You know, when men are now decide to be playing God, it calls for a serious concern, and things like this will continue to happen in the society we find ourselves. You know, and very fundamentally, it's also good that whether we like it or not, whichever way this election go, a statement to me, Nigerians are able to make a statement that those who are coming and any set of leader, whether the incumbent remain or another government is coming, what is sure that Nigerians we are now very much determined in terms of the political orientation, in terms of the political awareness, to say that if you are not performing well, we will give you a good fight. If you manipulate your way into the system, you are able to manipulate your way to find yourself in leadership position. Your conscience will also tell you that the way and manner you get here was not a manner that people want to celebrate. You know, therefore, on the strength of that, we must be very magnanimous with our victory. Those who are able to secure victory must also look back to say, it is the grace of God, and it's also the grace of the people. That's all. You, out of 200 million persons in this country, that you have been elected to manage and preside over our common resources. Therefore, you must be able to be very magnanimous. And that kind of decision and directive, that go and secure your ward, go and secure your unit. If you don't secure it, you will not be in position in power. We must look for a way to jettison it. We must look for a way to discourage it, so that people will know that whether you like it, winning an election, it does not require 100%. What you require is just a game of, if this one is having 60, you are having 40, the man with 60 is already on top. It must not be 100%. You understand? And when you are now working very hard to get 100%, it is no longer democracy. And that's the reason that is brought down again to why coming out with result now is not a problem. Because one, we are always seeing some level of desperation. It is my own personal thinking that people after the election, we want to see result, and the result is not forthcoming. Gradually, people are no longer seeing that independent alignment. People are no longer seeing that transparency. People are no longer seeing that credibility. You understand me? If it takes more than 3 days to announce result, to some of us, you will be cooking in sense. You know, you will be cooking the result. You want to generate figures. That's the reason why it's taking more your time. It's an elementary mathematics or arithmetic for you to arrive at it's a game of what you have there, 12, you have 4 here. You press it together. There's no any formula, no scientific formula again. It's elementary. And why is it not very hard for we to arrive? And that is the desperation. The winner, as a winner, you want to take everything, you want to harness everything to yourself. You are using all your resources. You want the institutions of government, you want to collapse for your favor. And it's not good for us. It's not good for us.
All right, just like he mentioned, Prof, River says, he's always in the news when it comes to election. And then in addition, in Akwa Ibom State, the report came that 18 core members were kidnapped, allegedly kidnapped. Out of that 18, 14 released. Another 4 is still being held by kidnappers. In Bayelsa State, the official photographer of the state governor at Government House was allegedly killed. A party chairman was also killed. The state governor has reacted, saying that the state will do all it can with its powers to investigate and document the roles of everyone involved, allegedly involved in that matter. And then, of course, we've also saw some violence in Lagos State. Of course, there's a story of a thug who was brutalized almost at the point of death before he was rescued and taken to the hospital. Thank God he didn't die. But some were in Rivers State, in Bayelsa, in Akwa Ibom State. Those who paid the price, they weren't so lucky. Not because they did anything wrong, but just because they participated in the election to serve their fatherland, as the case may be.
Right. Shortly before the elections, the security forces combined. They gave some kind of security guarantee to the nation that they were prepared to ensure the security of lives and property during the election. And in some states, in fact, in Benin City, for example, to be very precise, there was this, and I quote, the show of force, you know, which was more like a parade of the military, the army, the air force, the police with the helicopters, and all kinds of, you know, display of military might. You know, just to let the people know that, yes, if you foment trouble, they will deal with you.
Yeah.
And but I'm surprised that it was not the case in Rivers, some parts of Lagos, Akwa Ibom, and Bayelsa. Why? The truth of the matter is this, very simple. The police force in Nigeria today, from the colonial period up to today, still believes that the police force is established not to defend the citizens, but to defend government. That's the honest truth. And so the police force, they behave as if they exist only for those in government. They don't behave as if they exist for the protection of the citizens. And that is why they are not able to effectively deal with situations of violence during election. Secondly, look at the military, for example, and the reports that we also received from these states, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, as well as Bayelsa.
Okay.
Now, the military personnel, they were on ground. But we heard, because I wasn't there, I'm not a witness, we heard and we also read reports from the mainstream media that the military, the police, and other security agencies connived together to create problems in those states. What could that happen? And to some extent, like in Akwa Ibom State, that these security forces, they were also aiding political talks of a political party to create problems in a particular state, simply because those who are desperate for power, they want to satisfy their principle somewhere in Nigeria that they have been able to deliver. That's the major reason for it. Now, in the case of Lagos, look at the areas where it happened in Lagos. These are areas where some persons felt that if they allow the votes to count, it's going to drastically affect the outcome of the results. And so they had masterminded the violence themselves to create problems. I mean, I saw the ballot papers being scattered. We saw ballot papers being burnt. We saw polling stations, polling booths being destroyed. Where were the security forces? I went to vote. I told you on Saturday. Yeah. I went to vote, and I voted very well, and I did my best.
No, I don't understand and I voted very well. I don't understand that part, bro.
You see, you know, the electorate, we have a voice. And the voice, you know, simply means that we're able to use our PVC to determine who becomes our leader in deciding our future in the next 4 years. If you're not satisfied, then of course after 4 years we can change them. That's what I mean by voting well. Okay. And I've taken that decision. Okay. And I have no regrets about it. Okay. And I'm happy about the results and the outcome of it. Well, you see, I think, you see, in advanced democracies, what all of this should begin to point to now is to restructure the Nigerian police force. There's a book I read some time ago, When Election Becomes War. Roy has been talking about the issue of election is not war, election is not war. Which means, if you go back to the Second Republic, the vision of Alhaji Ibrahim Waziri was simply politics without bitterness. That was his vision about politics. It's not that, look, let us not be bitter about politics. But that is not the case. This book I'm talking about, you know, it was written some time ago, some years ago, by Chief Nusakare Isefure. And I read the book, I have a copy of the book, that when people think that election is war, this is the kind of problems that we experience. Violence, bloodbath, kidnapping, thuggery, etc. Now, what gives room, for example, to a society to believe that if they go cast their votes, it will count? One, everybody believes that for every election, number one, it must be free, it must be fair, it must be transparent, it must be credible, and finally, the fifth one, it be peaceful. So you cannot talk about free and fair election, transparent and credible election when there's no peace.
Yeah.
So who maintains the peace? When you have security agents aiding political talks of a political party to disrupt the process, then something is seriously wrong with the security mechanism of our state, the nation state called Nigeria. And that is why it is important for us to begin to look at the security architecture of this country. You know, I'm one of those actually advocating now that the Nigerian police force should be decentralized. Not to have state police as such, but to have what is called geopolitical arrangement of political forces, of police forces. For example, you have the Southwest, you have the South-South, you have the Southeast, you have the Northwest, you have the North Central, you have the Northeast. Let all those who serve in the political, in the police force, in that particular geopolitical zone, come from that political zone. Look at the case of Rivers, for example. Sir, you would have heard, and you would have also read, that shortly after that police commissioner was posted to Rivers, there were newspaper adverts, front page, to say, look, this is what this man has done previously in some other states.
Okay.
Coming to Rivers will also be a problem. Nobody took him seriously. Not even the so-called DSS. We have intelligence agencies. No one took them seriously. And now look at what has happened in Rivers. The same man they complain about months before election, it has come to pass. So what kind of security arrangement do we have in a country called Nigeria that you go and bring a mercenary from another state to come and cause problems in another state? This is the kind of thing that should stop in this country. We value our lives in this country. Let people from the same geopolitical zone be enlisted into the police force of that geopolitical zone. Don't go and bring somebody, for example, who is from Southwest to come and head the police force in South-South. It's wrong. Don't go and take somebody from Southeast to go and head police force in North Central. It's wrong. Let us begin to think about the problems we are facing in this country and how we can build our nation in terms of development, and how the security forces can also be rearranged to fit into the mechanism of security of lives and property in this country. In any case, what is the purpose of the state? Why does the state exist? The state exists simply because, first, to ensure the security, the safety of its citizens. And the state, the Nigerian state, is failing woefully in this regard. You cannot guarantee lives and property. You cannot guarantee the safety of anybody. If there has been a problem, can't we as a people now sit down and look at the reasons for it? It has to do with the colonial police force that we inherited, which was used by the colonial government to create problems for people that didn't want to obey it. And since 1960, that same structure has been on the ground. It doesn't make sense. Police administration is a very simple thing in advanced countries. Go to America, go to Canada, go to Germany where I studied, for example. Police administration is very interesting. But here, we do not have what is called police administration in Nigeria. What we have is government administration of police. So whether it is military government in the past or civil government now, they take the police force as their own security apparatus. You know, it's like a cartel. And say, look, we're in government, and so the police must listen to our orders and execute our orders. For example, I went to vote in Lagos. I just walked down, strolled down, and I was there, and I saw the police officers that were there. I saw those from civil defense and X-ray, and we're interacting with them. I look at their names. Very many, about 90% of them from this area. And so the place was calm and peaceful. The problem that arose, I was no longer there when somebody tried to come around to start distributing PVCs to people to go and vote. It was reported in the news. But
we had that on tape.
Yes. And the people responded. I said, look, what you are doing is wrong. Don't do this here. And knowing fully well that those security forces were there to even stop that woman, the woman left.
She wasn't arrested immediately?
No. The woman left. The woman left. So what you are saying is that we cannot continue with this kind of situation in Nigeria. You are planning for election, people are dying during elections. People are dying after elections. What is responsible? There is a big problem with police administration in this country. And time has come for that police administration, to take priority in our national debates and see how we can restructure the Nigerian police in this country.
Thank you very much, Professor Benson Osadola. If you just join us, it's Nigerian Decides live studio on independent television. Benin. We'll open our line so you can also share with us your experience, particularly from Saturday till today, against the background that we are awaiting announcement of results. That will take place at 11 o'clock at the INEC headquarters in Abuja, the presidential election results to be specific. But already at the respective collation centers, results are coming out for the candidates that participated in the election. Winners have emerged, losers have emerged, and we'll keep our fingers crossed in the course of the program. As soon as we have a comprehensive report on all of them, we'll unveil them to you. Now, back to a panelist here, Rivabo. What do you make of the structures in place to tackle some of these problems that emerges from our electoral process? I'm talking again now in terms of security. In time past, people said security agents shouldn't carry arms at the polling units, that they should just go there, ensure there is law and order and stuff like that. Well, you and I know that those coming to cut away ballot papers, ballot boxes, and other sensitive election materials, they don't come with, with their hands empty. They come fully armed and to decimate anyone that stands in their way. So what do you make of how equipped the security agents are at the polling unit to forestall some of these things that have been happening in our election process?
Where I voted, the security, I think we only have one police officer was with us there. He was not armed, very young and hands-on officer. We were there together, and because my place is quite, we live a communal life, we all know ourselves, therefore we were not scared of any invader. We were not envisaging an interloper will come, therefore we were just there doing our work, voting. As Professor said, we all voted and voted well.
Oh my God.
But they also brought down to even the orientation of an average Nigerian.
Okay.
You understand me? The orientation, and that's the reason why when Pross was talking about our mentality we inherited from the colonial masters, and it was portrayed to the point of servant and master relationship. And an average person in Nigeria, I've done a research. When I said an average uniform man in Nigeria is above the law, and I've done a research on that, and I found out that those who even wear uniform in this country, the kind of cars they drive, anything they do, they don't even have the required papers to drive it. You understand me? You go and find out. They don't have even the driver, the basic thing like driving license. They are not bothered. Nobody. It's only in this part of the world it happens. That is your orientation. Once you are now wearing a uniform, whether it's you are being intoxicated with the uniform, you saw it very just at a time the action of Oshomole police. They were even more ruthless and brutal. Most people are now putting uniform in Nigeria. They are very dangerous. Even the Malo, you see Malo, once you are on uniform, I don't know what happened. It's an orientation that we need a serious government that will also tackle this issue. Because the kind of orientation we have, we now see once you are in a uniform, you are now an oppressor. You understand me? And that is the mentality. They will want to, what you are supposed to be a relationship. That's not a relationship. You cannot be talking to a policeman with gun now, and you expect him to enjoy that kind of, you enjoy a relationship with him. If it is not on uniform, you see the way we talk to him. But once it's on uniform, you also see the interaction. Okay. Yet it's about us as a people. Okay. Therefore, we must look for a way to work on our orientation. We must as a people, we must know what is good for us. And that is the reason why I keep saying, we are talking about Nigeria design, we are looking at democracy and what have you. And I've challenged some professors, the academicians. I say, people should formulate a system of government for us that will work. It may not necessarily be a democracy. You know, we know as things, Nigeria, we are very unique people. We must also look at this, our uniqueness, to formulate a workable direction for ourselves in terms of the kind of system of government we want to operate. Must we operate democracy? We can call a way for ourselves and we make us sit down, because if you are looking at it, the principle, the details of democracy, we don't practice it here. And that is the reason why any government in power see police as its boys. It's easy for them to say, if I'm now in power, it's easy for me to call a commissioner of police or inspector general of police and say, why is Prof wearing white today? Go and get him for me. You know, that is the orientation. And Nigerian government must be able to say, no, we can't continue like this. We must be able to disengage ourselves from that colonial mentality. And that we have not been able to. And that's the reason why the system will continue to revolve like this. We'll continue to do. I am one of those who support the argument where the president said that the security men, they have to be ruthless on those, and I supported it. But my own concern now is that the kind of ruthless he was talking about, I did not really see it. I did not see it because with what have happened in Rivers State, even what even happened in Edo State, with what I watched from an attempt by a woman, somebody to say, well, you can vote, I tell you. And you see the way the woman was celebrated. There was people, she's supposed to be questioned. There was no authority from anywhere to question her. Then you now also be wondering what is not the reason behind that the security men, they had to be ruthless. You know, and the woman was able to overcome and water the ruthlessness the president hitherto postulated. Therefore, it's a worry on all of us that we need at this material time in the history of Nigeria. What we should be talking about and thinking about now is for we to embark on what I call national orientation that will redefine us as a people. One, we must change our orientation, we must change our mindset, we must change our mentality. We must believe that this country belongs to all of us. And the reason why this is happening is because people don't believe that Nigeria belongs to them. You know, I prefer to say I'm an Ishaman to tell you that I'm a Nigerian. But an American will tell you I'm an American. You know, we don't believe in Nigeria projects. We don't believe in Nigeria projects. And I ask people why my friends who are in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, we traveled there to come and vote in my village, and I saw the stress. Okay. And I said, why?
Let's take our first call, thank you very much. Just to ensure that the conversation is clear, kindly turn down the audio level on your TV, just to remove the echo. That way we can really communicate better. Hello, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning. I'm calling from Benin.
Yes, tell us your name, please.
I'm Austin Paul.
Austin Paul, please go ahead.
Yesterday in Ward 3, one Shaba was just shooting guns sporadically. And the law enforcement agency were there. Is it that the law enforcement agency is not supporting the PDP? He was not arrested. He was shooting guns sporadically, scaring away PDP supporters. I just want these people to notice. I'm calling for Ward 2. Thank you.
Okay, just to put on record that we discourage names being mentioned on a program like this because it's a very strong allegation, and those you're making those allegations against, they're not here to be able to respond to those allegations. And on our part, there is no way we can immediately verify that. So we'll disregard such contributions to the program. So please, you're calling on the program, ensure that you speak on things that are verifiable, things that will not pitch us against the regulators. Hello, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Kindly turn down the audio level on your TV set. Turn down the audio level. Hello, good morning. Well, it looks like we'll just take you off if you're not ready to talk yet. 052290573. That's the studio number. Dial it and let's get your take on the ongoing 2019 election. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Please turn down the audio level on your TV set. Once you don't do that, we won't be able to put you on air because you can hear the echo and it makes it difficult for us to hear what you're saying. All right? Turn down the audio level on your TV set. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm still calling from Benin. The last caller that was on the on the Agitation in Ward 3. That is completely wrong. And I think we should discuss such a situation. Usually it's in Ward 2. What did he got to do with Ward 3? How did he know that was he there? Such a thing should not be allowed in this
yeah, I think I've already addressed that. Immediately he hung up. I addressed that issue, that there is no way we can independently verify that.
The assessment about the election is that it went very well, and people came out and they voted their conscience.
So you're saying that such a thing never happened? Is that what you're saying?
All I want to say is that there is a lot of improvement with what I've seen, and I want to give kudos to the people of Boredo to start where I come from. And I think we have to improve on this. I'm very, very satisfied with the outcome of this election. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for your contributions. Hello, caller, good morning. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, then go ahead with your contribution. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Please turn down the audio level on your TV set or you move backwards to remove the echo. Either you turn down the audio level or you move backwards to remove the echo. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. We can hear you loud and clear. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. At all. Please go ahead.
I want to contribute in my own way. Other channels are like channels regional results. The one of this place is not coming out. Like the one in radio and another audio, at least breaking news. If the news should be coming out because some of us they don't.
Yeah, well, I said if you've been following the program, you probably would have heard me when I said we are putting them together so we'll bring them to the knowledge of the public. As you very much as you're very much aware, it's only the INEC officials that have the responsibility to do that. It is what INEC has released that we can retransmit. We cannot on our own go collect results from polling units or polling centers and announce it. It is what has been declared and released that we can re-announce to the public. Already, results are coming in for sure. So we are putting them together. We'll come up with that any moment from now. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Sure, you want to know what's up with your candidates in the election.
Anxiety.
Of course.
You want to know what's up with your candidate in the election. That's cool. That's cool. But just be patient. That will be out anytime soon. Hello, caller. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Yes, what's your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning.
Good morning, caller. Please turn down the audio level on your radio or on television set. Or better still, just move backward a little bit to remove the echo.
Hello.
Hello, good morning now.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Go ahead, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm Sarah Dike.
Where is Sarah Dike calling us from?
I want to go Muguyoko.
From Muguyoko. So tell us what happened there.
Yes, and I posted that for today. And about Kinzua. Hello.
We are listening to you.
Hello.
We are listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm saying that the election there was very, very free. Very okay. Why can't that be happen in other places? That you go to the election and you vote and the security, even when there was just one policeman and the other civil defense like you there, but everything was okay.
Okay.
Why can't they take that hand and hold those other places? What are they fighting for? Is there anything that they want them to do that they don't want the election to go play there?
Okay. So at Uguyogo, where you voted, everything went on smoothly and peacefully.
Very.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's really some cherry news there. And he's wondering why we can't just have this peaceful, calm nature of the election replicated all across the country. Why are people fighting? Well, all of that has been the focus of our analysis, and unanimously you agree that it's part of the desperation of politicians to sit there in power. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Anita.
Anita, could you turn down the audio level of your television, or better still, just move backward a little bit to remove the echo? Okay. Hello, Anita. Good morning. Well, Anita, I just wanted you to do something beautiful so we can hear you clearly, and then you can also hear us. Okay, good morning. Please, when you do call, endeavor to turn down the audio level of your television, or you move backward to remove the echo. Turn down the audio level on your television, or you move backward to reduce the echo. All right? Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Ralph from calling from Apple.
Ralph is calling us from Agbo. Hello, Ralph. You said you're calling from Agbo.
Calling from Ekpoma.
From Ekpoma. All right. Yeah, Ralph, let's hear you.
You see, Roy has said it all. The problem we have is not that INEC has done their bit. They provided the material, the adult staff and the rest of them. But what happened is that there will always be a leader standing somewhere or sitting somewhere. By the time the leader looks at the way the election is going on, you see them instigating their people, come and do this, come and do that. You see the rhetoric on their part. We're always very peaceful. We went to that place, we want to cast our vote. If you want to change the leader, you change. You have already made up your mind, this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
But they go and deliver your units, deliver your work feature. The directive that is given to them. If you are able to do this, we are going to give you this. If you are able to do that, we are going to give you that. That is the problem we are having. So let the leaders, let them give the electorate their time to cast their vote. Not instigating somebody somewhere. Look at what is happening. If you see that the election is not going our way, look for a way to disrupt the situation so that the election will not cast. So if we call the leaders to order, leave the electorate, let them go there and cast their vote peacefully. There will not be all this chaos. So thank you. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much. Indeed, very beautiful contribution that you just made, that the violence that we see in election is attributable to political leaders who encourage their supporters to truncate the process, especially when they see that the results coming out, or maybe they are not popular in such places. They just want to disrupt the process so that they can take undue advantage of the system, undermine it to their advantage. 052290, that's the studio number. 25073, that's the studio number. Please endeavor always to turn down your TV set, or you move backward to remove the echo. Hello, caller, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Freeman, Frank, Freeman.
Freeman Frank. Where is Freeman Frank calling from?
I'm calling from Benin. I'm calling from Benin.
All right.
I'm an assistant presiding officer at Ward 11, precisely Unit 22.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say the election there was very, very peaceful, free and fair. But one thing I noticed was that in my unit, we had 943,000 registered voters. No, 943 registered voters. But the number of persons that came out to vote was about 198.
I like to get that statistics. You had 943 registered, only 143 came out to vote.
Yeah, we had 943 registered voters.
Okay.
198 persons came out to vote. So you see that the difference is not just here at all.
Yeah.
What I believe is that people still don't believe in the system. They don't trust the system. They believe their vote will not count. I don't know how 943 persons will register and only 198 will come out to vote. Man, it was somehow. If say 700 persons had come out that day to vote, trust me, that election would have gone over to the next day. So I believe what our next thing need to do is to instill trust and confidence in the people that yes, they can still be trusted. Their vote can be counted. You know, people believe my vote will not count, my vote will not count. That is why they don't go out to vote. But all good and fine, it was successful, it was okay, it was fair, it was free. There was no hitch. The secretary don't did their work, everything was just okay.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, this is just beautiful. The insights that this last caller brought in.
Yes.
Voter apathy is still there. 943 in the unit, only 198 came out to vote.
Yes. The problem is not with the electorates. You see, by exposure and little experience abroad, is that in areas where we have people that identify themselves as community leaders and work within that community, they are always responsible for mobilizing the electorate to go and vote. And in Nigeria, what we have is political party leaders mobilizing their members to go and vote. So we don't have people who are not in politics as community leaders mobilizing other set of people to go and vote. You see, you see it in advanced countries of the world that I'm not a politician, but I go around to tell people, look, you need to go and vote because this will affect you, affect your children, affect your business, affect your future, affect your school, affect whatever you are going to do. These are what we call community leaders doing this kind of mobilization. And so to also reassure them that the vote will count. Now, in this case, in the case of a place where you have about 1,000 registered voters and less than 200 going to vote, that apathy may have been caused by several reasons. Some persons just stayed at home and said, look, of what use? Of what use is it going to waste my time to go and queue after a while and then the same vote they go and manipulate it? It doesn't make sense. So they'll stay at home. Others to say, look, I may have registered in a particular place, but I'm not too sure I can travel there to go and vote now because vehicular movement is definitely restricted. For some others, it could just be, oh, we were forced to go and get our PVCs to show at the place of work that we are registered. And so for this reason, I'm going to do it. I'll get my PVC, but I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to use it. See, you want to see my PVC?
Here is my PVC.
Here's my PVC.
I'm sure, how are you going to follow me to my polling booth to know if I voted or not?
You see, we should begin to do what is called a national reorientation. You see, the struggle for power is a serious business. Serious business because as a strong element of politics, there are building blocks. Political parties, elections, the media, free press, the citizens themselves, citizen education. You know, by the time you bring all of this together, sir, one thing is clear about the people and their right to vote. Let them know that they have a civic responsibility to ensure that if what they are experiencing in society is not palatable as a result of the government that is there, they have a right to use that voter's card to alter government. Every citizen has his own expectations about government and about the electoral process and what they think it can bring. Right now, let's take the US for example. I think there are about 6 to 8 Democrats who have indicated interest to challenge Trump. To say, look, Trump, you are going in a different direction that we thought America should go. And we strongly believe that this is not the kind of thing that we expected from you. We're coming out with a new agenda to challenge your position, to challenge what you are doing. Americans are watching them. And the American press is doing something very interesting. Okay. They get to talk to them. What is your motivation for this position? Why do you want to become American president? In Nigeria, it's not so. Somebody from the Atlantic Ocean will pick somebody from the desert to come and contest an election. What sense does it make to us? People are dissatisfied with that kind of process. Somebody who is not from your constituency, who is not from your senatorial district, who is not from your state, is telling you this is the person that you must vote for. On what ground? Sir, you are aware, Duke and Roy, you are aware that in 1999, this issue of godfatherism in Nigerian politics was so serious. You are aware?
Yeah.
And up to now, people thought perhaps the issue would have been forgotten. It's even more serious now.
Compared to
the beginning of democracy in 1999. It's more serious now. In fact, this new godfatherism in Nigerian politics is more deadly than ever before. And that is the cause of the problems we are facing. The cause of voter apathy. People don't want to come out and say, look, these godfathers, in the end, what do? They steal in billions. They steal in millions. And they are not brought to book because they enjoy immunity while they are in government. Why do I have to go and waste my time? But it's to reassure them that the Nigerian situation will change. It cannot remain like this.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it cannot remain like this. Because I was impressed where I went to vote, in my ward where I went to vote. And the comments of people over there. I told my wife, I said, 60% of those that were killed were youths. Very interesting. We were all youths. And you saw pregnant women. You saw people that were anxious to go and do something. In other words, to go and decide who will be their representative. And that is why our kind of democracy, it's constitutional democracy, which is defined by representation. And representation itself is defined by accountability. How accountable are you as an elected representative of the people when you are in power? So these are expectations of people, of the citizens, to say, look, this is the direction we must go in this country. But in any case, let us be very clear. Roy mentioned something very interesting, and I want to quickly comment on that. When he started, he said he has not heard of violence on the day of election in some parts of the country. How come that in certain parts of Nigeria, where even the two gladiators
are not from?
How come that we are the ones killing ourselves here to show that, yes, we are good servants to masters? He says so. Now, what does that imply? It implies that the person that is from a particular place, you are desperate. It means you have shown that you are a servant and you are in servitude, and that your generation will be in servitude to those people that you want to kill your people for. I mean, you should be proud to protect the lives of your people, no matter where you are in politics. And say, look, the blood of any Nigerian is not worth it for that particular person in power, or who wants power, or who is struggling for power. Let us protect our people. I don't know, but I'm sure the clips I saw and I watched, heavy gunshots in Port Harcourt. How did that come about? How did that come about? Yet we are talking about the people's expectation about you becoming a leader in this country through election. You want to kill them? To do what?
Roy, you quickly want to comment on some of the issues that are raised in terms of addressing some of these electoral violence they're like a recurring decimal in our political process. It looks like the fact that people are not brought to book, brought to justice, is more or less like an incentive for more people to perpetrate this kind of violence.
Of course. The personalities that are being celebrated today by those in position of authority are those, the thugs, those who have what it is to unleash terror on election day. And when they are reporting to their paymaster, they report with all sense of responsibility. That we were able, according to the directive you gave us, we were able to deliver. You understand? And some of them deliver and deliver well. And there is the persons, even some characters, people have been mentioned, and those people you are going to see in government tomorrow, who will be presiding over different parastatals and ministries. Therefore, what has shown is that over the years, Nigeria is a country where the laws are there. Implementation has always been the issue. We don't implement any. Once it's not the one that we are so comfortable with, we are in a hurry to implement. When we are not comfortable with that, as if nothing. Then when things are going on, people can, oh, let's look at what the Constitution says because it's favorable to them. They can get judgment from anywhere. They can get it at the midnight and implement it in another 2 seconds because it's favorable, and that is what they want to do. You know, and that is the reason why people keep on watching. And by the time you see a scenario like that, that bothers to the issue. What type of, why do I want to go and vote? When I get there, I know that. And people will be calling me, how was the election? I said the election was free, but I cannot say it was fair. You know, because it's a process. Yeah. You know, but I said I would not be in a hurry to say the election was free or fair, but for me the election was free. But I cannot say it was also fair because it's a process. It is not those who go and kill their matter now who cast their vote. It is not those who are going to tell us the scores. And now you can see people are even more agitated now because all the calls I've received twice yesterday are where is the result? And I was supposed to be telling people, I'm not allowing coffee, I'm not going to the result is there, you know, and people keep on calling. They want to know the result. And those are some of the agitation. And if there's not taking, you have a way of snowballing to people might decide want to resort to self-help. Now, what is the issue? And once people resort to self-help, that will not be good for all of us. And that's the reason why I believe that INEC, for once, if you have been watching and following the process, you see, INEC chairman have been briefing by every day 3:30, briefing 3 o'clock thereabout, briefing the world, telling all the situation report. And we were hoping, and remember a journalist asked, how is the collation process going to look like? And he assured us that immediately after the election, the result will be. But now, it's
something else.
It's something else. And all of us, we are beginning to be very worried. We are worried. That election, look at the figure this man quoted just. I mean, about 982 registered in my polling unit. I think at the end of the day, altogether was about 321 who came out to vote. And very easy to do the sorting. I think the easiest one in all the process is to do the sorting. After the sorting, you do the counting. And those counting are no issue. It's very easy. And everybody there with their calculator. I'm also, by tomorrow now, if another election is coming, definitely it will reduce the number of persons who want to vote because of this process. It's taking too much now, and we don't know the reason. I was surprised yesterday the INEC chairman called for a meeting, declared it open, and later said that we'll reopen again. And I'm wondering, what are you reopening for? You are in Abuja again. What were we expecting yesterday to say, this is the result of Abuja as well. When you are saying, okay, those who are coming from Madukuri, those who are coming from Edosa is a distance, what would naturally, okay, the process is on. But now we don't know what's going on. And some of us who went there to go and vote, who voted well, we cannot really be assured that what will not come out at the end of the day. Therefore, these are some of the issues I believe we should do. But fundamentally, the process of finding, I must commend them because in the process, in the voting process, this was the first time my PVC was recognized by the cabinet. And I said, yes, and I said, wow. Because I was even very, you were a bit apprehensive. Of course, I went to the polling unit earlier. Because to the extent I was not personally scrutinizing my PVC. Is it really my PVC? You know, and it was not an issue within myself. But when I got there, behold, it recognizes my PVC, and I said, yes, this is the first. And I looked carefully at the card with them. There are also improvements in terms of the hardware and the software presentation. To me, INEC have done in that direction. But voting now is no longer immaterial as far as we are concerned. The result supersedes that effort all of us put in that day. After spending all the days waiting at the polling unit, at the end of the day, those who voted well will not turn to those who voted badly. You understand? Therefore, we must consider all these variables. And the government of the day must be able to build that confidence in us.
But I think we'll just keep our fingers crossed. We know that INEC chairman has assured everyone that announcement of the results will be by 11 o'clock today. I think that's just about maybe 2 hours, 30 minutes from now, before that process will start in Abuja. Maybe we should be a little bit patient.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that cannot take away the fact that people are anxious.
Yeah, anxious.
And then the more the delay, there's always that room for some suspicion, agitation, and all of that. Prof, you want to comment on that?
Yes. Before I comment on it, I just want to say something that I observed when I went to vote. Even the illiterate woman that I saw, some of them around me, they said, look, the political parties are too many. And if I want to use their words, the party bugbe, I work here. You know, I was touched by it. That if a woman who did not go to school can think this way, and those of us who think we went to school, who are professors, who cannot think that way, it's a problem for this country. Before this election, Nigeria had 62 political parties. And now we have 90-something political parties. 92. Now the question is, I heard some of their names, I was very disturbed, I was angry. What is the purpose of this? You see, part of the problems they are facing today, they are collating, the results are being delayed, whatever is being delayed, is because you just felt you could do what you want to do and nobody will question you. And this is the implication. Nigeria, we do not have need for more than 10 political parties. Maximum, between 5 and 10. Let us see how people are able to compete for political power with 5 political parties or 10 political parties. The results will be very easy to count. For example, Roy, with your own experience, because I saw Duke was in the studio, so he didn't go. I left him, I watched him in the morning, I went to go, I came back, and I saw him. I was pitying him the whole day. I was still asking myself when I had time to eat. Now, the ballot paper for the presidency, we saw it. Yes. Very long, and in fact, as we were voting, while people were still on queue behind me, the box for the presidency was already full. Yes. I had to press my paper inside for the others because of the way, too many political parties. And I also realized that most of those people contesting for president, they have no candidates for senatorial election and House of Reps. Now, how do you expect to become a president?
Oh, you don't have National Assembly members.
National Assembly members. So, what kind of impression do we think we are creating in our politics? Okay, the next ANEC chairman now will register 50 political parties. That will be 142 in Nigeria, simply because it's democracy. That is not how democracy operates. The important thing, I can quickly say it here. From 1999 till today is almost 20 years. Democracy in the Fourth Republic. And it's important, those of us who are in academics and those who want to sponsor it, to a major symposium or international conference to look at the future political development of Nigeria and see how we can then build a third country. You see, it's all about the nation building process. Yeah. Nation building, apart from the physical aspects, there's also the psychological aspect of nation building.
Yeah. And so 30 minutes before we link up with INEC headquarters for the announcement of the presidential results. But if you watch your screen shortly, you see our WhatsApp number there. Please kindly send your messages to that number. If you have videos as well, on account of what is happening at the Collation Center where you are, or whatever transpired yesterday at the polling unit, at the election proper, please just let us know. Send it as a WhatsApp message or as a video to our WhatsApp number. You see that number on the screen shortly. Roy, final word on this. Too many political parties in ballot papers, as complained by some of those women that Prof talked about. Yes, you have the numbers on the screen. 0803-8726-759. That's the WhatsApp number. Send us your message, eyewitness report, that's what we call it. Let us know what you witnessed in the conduct of the election Yeah, let us know what you witnessed, conduct of the election. Just send it as a short message to us. We'd like to know, so we'll share it on the second half of our discussions today on the program. Ron.
Yeah, to me, the opinion he shared, I think those are also, I saw myself some time ago also sharing the same opinion, but after the primary, and I said, well, there is need for we to have more political parties. You know, the more we have more political parties, the more you open the space. You can see persons who are contesting the election now. Some of them are working very hard in social media. Sure, they are winning in social media. Therefore, you know, we have given them an opportunity to express themselves. You understand me?
Yes.
Therefore, now, a case like Imo State, we saw what happened at the primary of the political parties.
Yeah.
The incumbent governor, we saw the interest, and he was able to say, well, since my party, I'm loyal to, they don't want me to have my way. Let me use another platform for my son-in-law, since his intention is to convert that place to his own empire. And it worked for him. What that shows to me is that because the space is open, people now have opportunity to navigate or ventilate any of their politically.
Use other
any other platform. Okay. And if platform like that was done, they look at to go again.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Therefore, for we to be choked up.
But do you need about 93 political parties to actualize this? Do you need about 72, 62 political parties?
It is not
Can't
even,
we do this?
It is not even about the numbers of political parties.
Okay.
You understand me?
Yeah.
If you are able to look at it fundamentally, this also go back to what I said. It defines us as a people. Yeah. You understand me? It defines us as a people. Therefore, everybody wants to be a stakeholder. And the only way you can be a stakeholder is for you to have a platform. You understand me? And I will continue to encourage more political parties. Okay. One, if you go to Canada, there are political parties who operate in social media. There are political parties you cannot see their physical structure as an office. Yeah. They are purely online. Yeah. And the government of the day, people sit there and say, well, this is a political party. Okay. No, we are evolving. Gradually, we will get to where we are headed to. When we started in 1999, it was not like this. But gradually, we will go up, and at the same time, we will not stabilize politically. Then people will not know, you will not know where to pursue your agenda. Right. You know, and now, because people are saying we don't have an ideology, political parties in this part of the world don't have an ideology. We are moved by the master. Once the master gives you a directive, you follow your master.
Once the leader gives a directive, you follow.
You follow. Now, what that also shows is that as the process is evolving, it will get to a time we will not really know who are the progressive.
All right.
We will not know those who are to the right and those who are to the left.
Right.
We will get there one of these.
All right.
Therefore,
so we're hoping we get there.
Political party
and part of the process of getting there is the reason for all of the agitations that the result should come out. I mean, it's like writing an exam, all right? You finish writing an exam. I mean, if you've done very well, you're always, apprehensive that you want to see what you score. Even if you didn't do well, you want to see what you scored so that it will help you to prepare for next time. We're taking a break now. We'll be back to Nigerian Decide Studios by 10:30. But we've requested you to use the WhatsApp number to tell us what happened where you voted. All right, the WhatsApp number is on the screen right now. Write it down, send your message now, because when we resume by 10:30, we're going to start with the messages that you sent to us on maybe within the first few 20 minutes or so that we have before we link up with INEC headquarters for the announcement of the presidential results. Okay, so it's just an opportunity for you to express yourself in the conduct of the election. Very important. So please ensure you take advantage of the WhatsApp number. Send a video there. If you have a clip to show us, if you have something to say about the conduct of the election, you can put it there. But we'll also open our studio line. That's how we'll put the number there, so you can also call. But we'll be resuming our studio here by 10:30. And then we'll also be looking at a very interesting subject, because now you see that some of the bigwigs, they are losing in this election. Major upset has already taken place in Kwara State by political pundits by virtue of the Senate President losing his seat. And someone has asked the question, this looks like an elite disconnect versus voter discontentment. So we'll look at that we'll return by 10:30. Once again, I want to thank Professor Benson Osadolo for your time. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And Roy Oribabo, many thanks as well. Well, they'll be joining us in the second session, and others will be joining us as well. I want to say big thanks to you for staying with us on independent television and radio. We'll be back by 10:30. See you at 10:30.